gig-worthy acoustic guitars, right? So if I could sell the two that I have and even buy one good one, like I thought I'd already remedied that problem with my my TAC, but apparently I didn't, and that's too bad because I really like that guitar, but the pickups don't work on it, the intonation issues with it. I don't know what to do with this thing. You know what I mean? Like it's still a good guitar, but it's not like you can't perform well with it. You know, fully in tune, right? So your guitar has to be 100% in tune. Like my Gibson SG61 reissue and my Mark Holcomb 7-string, I didn't. Oh, okay. Well, the Gibson I down tuned it and up tuned it. Like I did drop E tuning a few times. Mr. Pothole? Okay, I missed the pothole this time. How about that, Mr. Pothole? You can keep your pothole trying to sneak up on people like that. There's a puddle right where that pothole is, so you think it's just a puddle, but it's not. It's like, that's a rim buster right there. But anyway, the point I'm making is that you know, like trading up things and stuff like that is you know, a recipe for success. You know what I mean? Like you guys know that pretty much every piece of equipment I have, you know, except for extremely new stuff, is broken, breaking down, or about to break, right? So there's still lots of things I gotta get. Time versus money, right? Just not gonna have enough of either. And it's like, to buy good stuff, it takes time. It takes time, right? So that's why I'm one of those firm believers that I'd rather do without than just buy cheap. Because you're always buying cheap. And cheap will keep you poor. Because what happens is when you buy something good, it's well built, lasts longer, whatever, you don't buy as much, right? When you buy cheap, you're always buying the, you know, the cheapest thing you can get. Now, I get it, we're in a society where it's a throwaway consumer-based society. It's very hard to buy good stuff because it just simply doesn't exist. Everything's built for the prosumer. You know, keep it cheap, keep it cheap. Well, sometimes people want better quality, not just better aesthetics, you know what I mean? So it's like with cameras, it's like that, you know, you guys are always complaining about my cheap cameras. You know what I mean? So do you really want me to buy another cheap camera? You know, like, you know what I mean? Now, mind you, my cameras are they're getting pretty old. My newest camera is probably 5-6 years old, whatever it is. So, you know, like, and things don't last forever, especially electronics. You know, I need new laptops. I need this. I need that. There's just no end to it, right? But the clutter, there's you know, you get rid of the clutter, like that old electronics that I don't use anymore. I can get rid of those for free. You know, like take them to the Eco Center, stuff like that. You know, and then, you know, try to rearrange the garage again. Like, there's just so much junk that needs to go, right? And it's not easy to get the time to go through it all. So that's what I'm going to be doing this winter. Is like, just I want to account every single item I own. The first thing that usually happens when you do your first major cleanup is the amount of paper you have. Like, it's just, there's so much paper, and you get rid of that, and it's like it clears out a drawer or two. you know what I mean? Like, you'd be surprised how much paper you just accumulate. You know. So I like to condense the paper stuff as much as possible. Get rid of what I don't need. The washer here. Maybe I might get a couple more metal runs in this. You know, borrow my dad's little truck or something like that. But yeah. So my plan for the winter is just to write a lot of music. See if I can get the gigging going. I don't want to gig in the winter. Simply due to the fact that I just don't, like, I've done it before, so I know like what, like every time you have a gig there's a snowstorm, and then you gotta load your equipment like winter's just, yeah, no, it just wrecks everything. Maybe you do the odd gig if it's really close to home. Like I might try to set up a couple of things at the hall to raise money for the town, you know, like, you know, for the hall itself, you know. I'd like to be able to do stuff like that. You know, say it'd be like an afternoon concert where it's like daytime, so, you know, say it starts at noon and you're done by 1 or 2 o'clock. That way people aren't driving in the dark and, you know, whatever. And whatever money's raised can go towards, you know, paying for the, you know, the taxes on the hall. Well, I think that the hall is tax exempt because it's a municipal hall. But, you know, like the heating isn't, you know what I mean? Like it's not free heating and stuff. And stuff like that, or raise money for the churches or whatever it be, you know, whatever our town needs the most, right? So I'd like to put on a couple of little shows doing that, maybe with the violins or something. You know, just nice little afternoon show, keep it nice and easy for people. An hour, 2 hours, and maybe I get 10% of the proceeds or 50%, whatever it's going to be, right? So that's just my kind of goals for any kitty cats. That's kind of my goals for the winter. It's just to kind of take it easy and you know, not so hard on the body, and set up a plan for next year. Wow, look at the water here. You know, sets me up so I don't have to work 7 days a week next year. But, you know, one thing to keep in mind is like all the big purchases that I did this year, okay, like that's sort of done. You know what I mean? Like there's a few more big purchases that I'll do.